Hello and welcome to this brand working webinar. We're just welcoming everybody to the call today. Lovely to see some people here. What I'd like to ask you to do, please, when you arrive in the webinar room is please just let us know who you are by typing your name and where you're from into the chat box, which you should find on the right hand side there. So we'd love to know who's on the call today and whereabouts you're calling in from so that we can say g'day, hello, kia ora, howdy, wherever it is that you're from. We'd love to say hello to you. So please go into that chat box if you can see that on the right hand side of your screen. Type in your name and where you're calling in from so that we can welcome you to the webinar. Now, if you're watching the replay, there is a box on the right for you to ask us questions, and they come to us via an email so we can answer your questions during the replay webinar. And we do have the chat box available for people who are watching this live. So if you're watching it live, please pop into the chat box there. There's a couple of people on the call already, which is wonderful. Nice to see you all. Please just go into the chat box, type in your name and where you're calling from. It'd be lovely to say hello to you and wish you all the best, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are. So a couple of people from all around the world, which is just lovely to see. Hello, I've got Steve from the sunny Brisbane. Yes, it is very sunny in sunny old Queensland today. A little bit chilly. Everybody's going crazy about the cold today. Not quite sure why. It's still only 12 degrees. For all those people that are on the call, I see from New Zealand saying that that seems relatively warm compared to where you are. And a couple of people from the States, lovely, saying, what do you mean cold? Yeah. Yes, it's wonderful talking to people all over the world experiencing different seasons and all sorts of things. So wonderful to have you here. So if you do get a chance, we'd love to see who you are and where you're from. So please pop your name and where you're calling from into the chat box. That would be lovely. Now, I will get started in just a minute. I'm just making sure there's plenty of time for people to get on. And if you are watching the replay, you will have a chance to ask some questions that come to us afterwards. During the live webinar, you're welcome to ask us questions at any time into that chat box, especially if you're having any trouble with the connection and you need some help. We have our lovely resident techie guru Graham here as well to help deal with any technical issues that we might have. So please, if you're having those issues, we might be able to help you out. Just pop a question into that chat box so we can let you know. Now I'm going to get started just so that we can see exactly what's going on. Hi, I'm Lauren Clemett and I run the Brand Working Webinar series, and I'd like to just share with you a little bit about myself, that you know why I'm talking to you in this way and my background. I've worked for a number of years, 25 plus years, with some extraordinary world-leading advertising agencies. You've seen some names up there that you might recognise. Also running my own advertising agency, Evergreen, which was dedicated to marketing for baby boomers and seniors. So if you're after that age group and that's your target audience, feel free to ask me some questions about them. Also worked for a number of years with Pivotal, which is a production management company, and we produced everything, TV, radio, press, billboards, yes, and even the internet. It did come around when we were there. And now I have the Ultimate Business Propeller, where we are specifically working with professional service providers to help them with their personal brand, to help you stand out and be found and become well-known, well-paid and wanted. So that's where we're up to and what we're doing. We also have a background in writing books, and I'm a best-selling author a couple of times over, which is all fun and games. But the nicest thing about becoming a best-selling author for me is the fact that this is where I came from. This is a very old school report that you're seeing hopefully on your screen. Hopefully there's not too much of a delay. And you can see here back in 1980, I think I was about 10 at the time, I had a teacher come to me and tell me, look, you're really struggling with reading and writing. You're not getting this easily. I think you've got something called word blindness, which in those days was dyslexia. So he basically told me I would never be able to read or write properly, and that's been a real interesting challenge for me, given that I'm now a 5-time best-selling author, which is very, very cool. The nicest thing he did write about me in that report, of course, at the end, you can see here, if I had a class of Laurens, there's no limit as to how far we could get in this program. Now, that really is, he knew me very, very well, because he knew that if he said things like that, that was going to be a red rag to a bull. Anything you tell Laurens you can't do, I'm damn well going to go and show you that I can do it. And I basically taught myself how to spell in my own particular way, by joining words together and images in my brain and trying to recall them that way. There were patterns and shapes and all sorts of things that I used to remember how to spell. and still use it to this day. So I don't spell like normal people do. I always get someone to double check what I'm doing, and I'm sure if you've got emails from me about these webinars, you would have picked up a couple of those mistakes that might have crept through. Thank you for anyone who's pointed those out to me. That's fantastic. But that's my background. So I guess the message from this is whatever you want to achieve, you can do it. Don't let anybody tell you that your disability is going to stop you, because my disability actually became my greatest asset. And I ended up working, as you saw before, for some world-leading advertising agencies with some amazing global brands. Anyone calling in from New Zealand will recognise quite a few of these. There's a couple of global brands there as well that I've worked with. And really, as a brand manager, the whole thing around this was consistency. And if it's the one message I can give you today as a professional service provider, it's that you need to look at your consistency. You need to make sure that regardless of who you're talking to, you remain the same in the way that your brand looks and sounds and feels and speaks and engages people, because that's what builds brand recognition. And if you want people to recognize you as a specialist in your field, you need to have that instant recognition. So one thing I would encourage you to look at is your consistency. Are you saying the same things over and over? I know it's hard for entrepreneurs. We like things that are new and interesting and exciting, so to do the same thing over and over is always a bit of a challenge. But I do challenge you to do that, to remain consistent if you can, and make sure that you have the same imagery and the same brand culture regardless of what you're doing and whatever channel it is, be it social media, speaking in public, networking, your website, your business card, whatever, that you make sure you're consistent so that people recognize you. Now, today we're going to be talking about personal branding, and I'm going to be giving you some really great insight and tips and tools and actionable steps to help you become that sought after go-to specialist, to make sure that people know you. Your personal brand really is all about your reputation and what people say about you. The lovely Jeff Bezos talks about personal branding as being what people say about you once you've left the room. So what do you want people to say about you? Word of mouth marketing is by far the best form of marketing. So what is it you want people saying? When somebody says, oh, look, I need a really good accountant or a great chiropractor or a fantastic business coach, or whatever it is that you do, what is it you want someone to say about why they should come to you? Oh, you need to go and see Andrew or Steve or Jane or whoever because they are this. So have a think about that today. What is your personal brand? What is the reputation you want to have? What do you want people to be saying about you? Now, I'm going to be taking some excerpts out of my best-selling books. These are the best-selling practical guidebooks with step-by-step instructions on how to really grow a strong personal brand. The series is called Selling You, and you can download a copy of that from Amazon, or you can get them individually. Know Me, Like Me, and Trust Me are the 3 books that make up that series, and you're welcome to go ahead and grab those from Amazon. If you want a link, please just type into the chat box, and I'll try and send that to you so you can download those books if you want to get hold of them as well. So I'll be taking some stuff out of those, but also some key things out of my Authority Rocket program. Now, we only have 40 minutes today on the webinar, so I can't share everything with you, but I'm going to give you about 2% of what I know to help you really rocket launch your brand and to really take off and become that go-to sought-after specialist. Now, before we get into this, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions. Now, I'm going to run a poll. Just going to start this now. Sorry, technical stuff going on. So on the right-hand side of your screen, you will see a question come up, and the question says, do you have a strong personal brand? And hopefully you can see that poll. If you can't see that poll, please let me know. For some reason, it doesn't seem to be looking like it's doing the right thing on my screen. Please let me know if you can't see it. But there's poll questions there, which is basically, no, I don't know what a personal brand is. Yes, I'm pretty sure I know what it is. I'm getting paid well for that, for being the standard expert. Or look, I'm really not sure what it is I should be telling people about who I am and what I do. So if you could please just answer those questions. Last time we did this poll, I think about 67% of people on the webinar said, look, I think I know my personal brand, but I'm not sure what it is I should be telling people so that they know exactly what it is that I do and why they should choose me, which of course is really important when you're selling a service, because you are selling the invisible. And when you're selling the invisible, it's really hard to explain why someone should choose you compared to somebody else who looks like they do exactly the same thing. So if you can answer that poll for us and let us know, that would be fantastic. Please tell us, Steve, no poll. Yes, I don't know. Maybe it's not working. Maybe I should try and reset and start again. Let's see what happens, shall we, Steve? There we go. Let's try this one instead. Okay, hopefully that's coming up on there. Lovely technical issues. I love running webinars. They always throw exciting technical things at me. So yes, the question is, do you have a strong personal brand? And the answers are, yes, I'm sought after, well paid. I'm a specialist in my niche. I'm not clear on why someone should choose me, or what is a personal brand? So if you could have a crack at answering those. Yes, it's there, Graham. Lovely. Thank you, my techie genius guru at the other end of the line, for letting me know that it's there. If you could just do a vote on that, everybody, that would be fantastic. Thank you. So you can let me know where you're at. And we'll have a look at that poll as we go through. So let's have a look at personal branding. Now I'm going to clear an elephant from the room at the moment. You're probably all thinking, now this woman's got an interesting accent. Where is she from? All the Kiwis in the webinar today will know exactly where I'm from, and this is a particularly accurate geographical map. Just a bit of fun at those lovely Aussies that I love. I grew up in the North Island of New Zealand, and I now live in the West Island in Australia and love being here. So this is my bit of fun and games. Hopefully the Aussies have a good sense of humour today on the webinar, and that would be great. If you could have a bit of a laugh at my expense, would be cool. But this is where I grew up. I grew up in the Hunua Ranges in New Zealand, and it's very, very thick bush area. And a lot of people get lost very, very easily in Hunua. It's not far away from the largest city in New Zealand, Auckland City. And people would come down the road and they'd go for a wander in the bush and they'd get lost. And often they'd get lost only meters from the path because the bush was so dense that they would get confused and disorientated and not know which way was up. And it's a little bit like that in business. You can be so close to your path, to the exact road that you need to be taking to become that go-to specialist, but you're just so close and not there that it's really confusing, and it's really bewildering as to what you should be doing to market yourself and promote yourself. And this is why I talk personal branding rather than marketing. Because if you're out there doing marketing and spending lots of time and effort and money pushing your promotion, promoting yourself and what you do, but you're not sure what you should be known for, you're not sure what your expertise is, it's just going to confuse people. And you don't want to confuse people. The confused mind will never buy. So today, I'm going to give you some insight tips and some tools to help you get a little bit clearer and find that direction that is your personal brand, to make sure that you know the path you want to go on and what you want to be known as. So really thinking about what you want other people to say about you so that you find that path. Because what I've found with people that I work with on their personal brand is they go so fast. When they find their path, they get amazing results. They become incredibly confident in exactly who they are, who they want to talk to, who their ideal prospect is, what they want to be known for, and things just fall into place. They come back to me and say, it's amazing how quickly my business has gone from floundering around trying to find what we're supposed to be doing to actually becoming the go-to sought after specialist. It happens so quickly that they are astounded at how quickly their business really takes off. So that's what I'd like to share with you today. And the time that we have together is to give you that direction to head you on the right path. So there are three major questions that I get asked. When I get someone who meets me, or I go to a networking event, or I'm talking to them online and they discover that I'm a personal branding specialist, they have these three questions for me. They ask me, look, could you help me? Because I really need to know, how do I explain what it is that I do? Because as I say, when you sell a service, you're selling the invisible. It's really hard to explain how you do what you do and why someone should choose you. So that's the first question that people want to know. Look, can you just tell me what I should be saying on my website, on my business cards, in my emails, in networking, whatever. Also, they want to know, who's my ideal target audience? Because at the moment, I'm trying to help everybody. I'm helping every Mary in the dairy, is what they say. So they're really struggling. They feel like they're stretched really thin. They're chasing after people. It's really hard, and they're not getting people coming to them naturally wanting their services. And the third thing they want to know is, hey, what's this niche thing? And if I need to niche, what is mine? How should I niche? Should I niche? What's mine going to be, and how do I work that out? So that's really cool. So I'm going to touch on those three things today. How are we going in the poll? I'm just find out whether we've actually got some results here. Let me have a look before I go much further. Let's go in poll and see what happens. Great. We've got about a 50-50 split today with people on here, which is great. We've got some sought after, well-paid specialists in their niche. Fabulous. I'm hoping today I can give you just those extra little bits that'll help you really rocket launch. And then we've got 50% of people going, yep, I'm pretty sure I know what a personal brand is, but I'm not clear on why someone should choose me, which is perfect. You're on the right webinar to find out how to do that. So we're going to go through this pretty quickly for you. And please, in the chat box, let me know if you've got any questions just please type them in as we go through. And if you're watching the replay, you're welcome to ask questions and they come to us on an email. So let's get on with the first question, shall we? How do I explain what it is that I do? Now, I'm a bit of a neuro branding specialist, so I'm going to go through the first step I teach people to really understand your prospect's brain, because it really isn't about you, it's about them. And the first step I teach people comes out of the Know Me practical guide, and it's all about that first question that the human brain is asking whenever it comes in contact with a personal brand. The question it asks is, do I know what you do, and can that help me? The human brain just wants to put you into a little box to make sure that it knows what it's dealing with. And can that help me? It's all about what can you do to help me, not the other way around. Not what is it that you do and tell me your whole life story. What is it you do so I understand where in my brain I put you, and can you help me? Because if you can't help me and you don't tell me that within the first few seconds, I'm out of here. I'm leaving, I've had enough, I'm going to go somewhere else. So it's really vital that you get this right. So let's give you some neurobranding insight to start off with here, really just to help you understand what your prospect's brain is thinking while you're doing your marketing and your promotion, and why it's so important to have a really strong personal brand. So the human brain is extraordinary. It has about 60,000 thoughts every day, which include I'm hot, I'm cold, I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I don't like that person, ooh, that tastes horrible, whatever. The car needs a wash, I need to do some shopping, all that stuff going on, 60,000 of those a day. Additional to that, the brain is being hit with about 5,000 branded messages every day. That's about 4 every minute. So there's a huge amount that's hitting your prospect's brain that you've got to find a way to cut through. And that's what I'm saying, in the first few seconds, you need to make it really clear, what is it that I do and how do I help people? Because unless you can do that very quickly, they will go. And I know if there's anyone on today, there was someone on earlier today, oh, they're still here, fabulous, Michael's still here, he runs a website. And he told me people only get 4 seconds to really engage with your website before they click off and go somewhere else. So Michael, who builds websites for people, knows that, and he talks all the time about making sure they're with him. The what's in it for me is right at the top so that people are engaged straight away. So there's a bit of insight for you just to highlight the fact that this is vitally important. Now, there is a part of the brain that is specifically there to weed out, if you like, the prospect's brain from stuff that it should be looking at and stuff it shouldn't be looking at. So out of those 5,000 messages a day that you see, you don't see all of them. The amygdala sits there and either brings things to your attention because they're deemed important, either to keep you safe, to stop you from making bad decisions, to, oh, by the way, you were interested in that, you need to notice this is happening, or it drops them into your subconscious because you really weren't interested and it's not part of what you're looking for. So here's a real tip for you. In order to get through the amygdala's defenses and into your prospect's brain with ease, you need to be interesting. You need to find a way to be interesting to your prospects. So here's the lesson. Work out who your prospects are, and we're going to be talking about target audience in a minute, but once you've worked out who they are, you can work out what are they interested in. If it's a buying a car, or getting their back sorted out with a chiropractor or a physiotherapist, or getting a business coach to help them sort out their business, or help them with sales leads, or something else that you do, whether it's accounting, they're in a mess with their books, whatever. What is it that they're interested in? And that's the bit you need to make sure that you're using all the time to connect with them. So the amygdala is really interesting, and I can go a lot into the amygdala. I'm not going to today because we've got to move on quite quickly, but just be prepared for the fact that if you're not really succinct in what it is that you do and how you help people, the amygdala will not let that get through to the prospect's brain. It will deem it as scary, especially if you hear somebody waffles on and isn't quite clear about what it is they do. The amygdala will go, I don't know what this is, I've never heard this before, I'm scared of it, and it will just stop the brain from really focusing on it. So just be aware that you're going to have to cut through being really clear about what it is you do and how you help people. So we talk a lot about having a really good core message, and this is more than just an elevator pitch. Your core message is what goes on your first words people should be reading when they go to your website. It could be cut down and go on the back of your business card, the top of all your flyers, anything you do in marketing, plus what comes out of your mouth when you go to networking events and you're asked to introduce yourself to somebody, your core message. And a lot of people freak out about this, because you're scared that you don't know what to say, and this is what we want to try and help you with today. A lot of people also are concerned about using a job title. I've worked with a lot of people in real estate and insurance agents, anyone who's in an industry where they think there's a reputation for their particular field that might give the prospect a negative reaction. Now, in reality, the human brain is going to do that anyway, regardless of whether you say it or not. And it will do it in split seconds. If somebody's had a bad experience with an accountant or a solicitor or a real estate agent or a used car salesman or whatever, the brain is going to put it on high alert. And there's nothing you can do to stop that. So don't panic about that. Don't worry about using titles and business terms and industries that you're in, thinking that, oh, that's going to give them a bad reaction. A lot of people go, oh, I don't want to use debt collector because that's got a horrible connotation around it. Well, unfortunately it has, but you need to cut through the amygdala. You need to let the brain know, okay, this is what I'm dealing with, because the next thing out of your mouth or the next word they read on your website is what you do to help them. And that's going to cut through. That's going to be the thing that makes them stop and listen, regardless of what they have as an opinion about your industry. They are going to listen because you're telling them how you can help them. And that's how the brain works. So yes, you need to include this right up the front. You're with them. What's in it for me? It's so vitally important that you have this. Not what's all about me, or how long I've been in business, or how many people I help, or how many certificates I've got, or anything like that. It's all about the prospect. What's in it for them? Why should they choose you? What is it about you that is specialist, niche, knowing, expertise, experience, whatever it is, that will give them something more than they'd get from somebody else? What's in it for them for working with you? It's really vital you have that. It is all about becoming a pro. Now, this is a big part I talk about in my best-selling books. Pro isn't the oldest vocation in history. It is an acronym, PRO, stands for Problem Resolution Outcome. So when you're building your core message, it's really vital that you talk about those three things. Now, what I see all the time with service providers, especially on their websites, on all their marketing and in their elevator pitch, they talk a lot about the problem, which is great. So you're talking about your ideal client and you're talking about the problem that they've got. Fantastic, that's wonderful. They then talk about the resolution, how they can fix it, what they can do to improve their situation, to get out of that pain or debt or whatever it is, or into a place of pleasure. So they talk about the resolution, but the trouble is they stop there. So they talk about the problem, which is great. They talk about how they solve things for people, they resolve issues, and they finish. Whereas the human brain thinks in pictures. It needs a picture of the outcome, which is the O. So yes, talk to people about the problem that they might have, talk to them about the resolution, the particular way you can help people, but then paint them the picture by telling them, and the outcome is the outcome. So once we've done that, this is what your life is going to be like. When you've done that, this is the outcome. What you get is this. Your life changes, your business changes, your stress goes away. What is the outcome that they have through using your services as a real estate agent? You know you've got the right investment property. Whether it's an accountant, you never get in trouble with the tax man again. You can just get on with business, knowing that you're doing the right things, and relax about that so you can focus on what you do best. Talk about the outcome. Paint the picture for your prospects. It's vitally important. Now, I'm going to prove to you that the brain thinks in pictures. So I want you just to all quick we jump into the chat room, because I want you to answer this question for me. I'm going to give you 2 words for you to concentrate on, and I want you to think about the 2 words. And in the chat room on the webinar, or if you're on the recorded one, you can always have a crack at this and listen to the outcome in a minute. But in the chat room, if you can tell me what you see in your brain when I give you these 2 words. So is everyone ready? You're in the chat room and you're ready to go with your answer. I'm going to give you these 2 words. Just type into the chat room what you saw in your brain. So the words are bacon and eggs. Okay, so bacon and eggs. Have a think about those words. Just let your brain deal with it, and just imagine bacon and eggs, the words bacon and eggs. What are you seeing in your brain? If you can type into the chat box what it is you saw in your brain. There's some fun stuff coming through. I love this. This is hilarious. Yes, fried eggs and some bacon. Someone's got poached eggs on toast, cup of tea. Very nice. Yes, someone's seeing a pig and a chicken. I'm not quite sure why that is. People see a pig and a chicken. I'm not a psychoanalyst, so I'm not quite sure what that means. But most people see this. Most people see a plate with some cooked eggs. They're probably your favourite, whether that's scrambled, poached, fried, whatever. And it may or may not have one or two or 10, whatever, rashers of bacon. If you're vegetarian, it might be something else. But this is what people see. Some people mention they can smell them, they can hear them cooking. Did I tell you that this was cooked? Did I give you any other words other than just bacon and eggs? No, I just gave you those words. So your brain basically came up with breakfast. Yes, Steve's popped in breakfast there. Fantastic. So yes, this is what's happening. Your brain works in pictures. So this is a bit of fun. I hope this is really encourage you to think, though, that this is what your prospect's brain is doing. When you're talking to them or when they're visiting your website or looking at your brand in any way, shape or form, they are painting a picture. And they're looking for you to tell them what the outcome is going to be. And if you tell them that the outcome is going to be fantastic and it's going to be, and be really descriptive with your words if you want to, but their brain will make up the picture. There's a company I've worked with who do property management, and the picture on their homepage has got nothing to do with houses, doesn't have those awful stock shots with people jingling the house keys and smiling in front of the house. It's got a picture of a middle-aged couple relaxing back in a hammock laughing. They painted the picture of the outcome. When you use their services, you are going to relax knowing that your investment property is well taken care of. So make sure you do this. It's a really important point. Paint a picture for your prospects. So I'm going to give you a formula to help you do this. Now, I don't often do this in the webinars because we don't have a lot of time. So I'm going to whiz through it, but you can write this down to help you. It's something I help people do in the training that I run, is come up with their core message. So that's something that they can use all the time in everything that they use. It's called the BEST formula. That's for the Kiwis. For the Australians, it's the BEST formula, and the Americans, it's the BEST formula, right? My accents are dreadful, so here we go. So the BEST formula. The B stands for be clear. It's what I've been saying the whole way along. Be very clear about what it is that you do, yeah, and who it is that you help. This is the second part, E, exactly who you help. And I often hear people say, oh, I'm a tax accountant, which is great, very clear what you do, and I help anyone who wants to avoid the tax man. And I help everyone who's got a business. Now, you can't possibly help everyone and anyone. It's just not possible. You want to become the go-to specialist. You want to be really clear. I help stressed out business people who are worried that they might get in trouble with the tax man to sort their books out. It's a far better way of saying exactly who it is you help. And make sure it's people you want to be working with. We're going to talk in a minute about target audiences, but you want to talk about the person exactly that you want to work with, the person that you love dealing with. S is solve their problem. So again, you've definitely got to talk about the problems. You've got to state the problem and how it is that you solve it. So I help, I'm a tax accountant. I help incredibly stressed out business people who are worried they're going to get on the wrong side of the tax man to sort out their books. They can get on with their business. And I do that by, and now you talk about the problem, coming to their business, doing a proper audit on exactly what's going on to make sure that everything's in place. So how do you solve that problem? And the last one's tell them why, because you should be running your business, not chasing around after your accountant. Tell them why. What's the purpose? What's your passion? Why do you do what it is that you do? So make sure that you tell them why in your core message, and always leave them with something to think about. What's the best part? What's the best part of them choosing you compared to choosing the tax accountant down the road, or the chiropractor up the road, or the other person who helps you sell businesses, or the business coach, or whoever it is? What's the best part about working with you? Be really, really specific. So there's the formula. And I hope that you can write that down quickly and use it, but it is something that I help people with, and we work through this. It takes time, but we get to the point where you have a really clear core message that works. It absolutely naturally attracts perfect prospects, and you do it effortlessly. You do it without even thinking. They're your words, it rolls off your tongue, and the people who do this incredibly well get really confident with what they want to be known for, which is very, very cool. So I'm going to move on because we don't have a lot of time today with the webinar. I want to make sure we're keeping it to the time that we have allowed for us. Who is my target audience is the second question I get asked all the time. So let's have a look into this, because it is step 2. It's the second thing that the human brain is thinking. The first thing was, do I know what it is that you do and can you help me? As soon as they've figured that out and that you've used your core message to cut through that, they then want to know, okay, do I like the idea of working with you? And it is all about liking people. And it's not just about you being likable to lots and lots of people. It's you figuring out who is it that you really like working with. Because life's too short to work with horrible people. Let's work with some nice people. And this is why I always have this slide available for people. This is a book that I have at home. It's not one that I wrote. The lovely Robert Sutton wrote this book. But I bought this to learn this rule, the no asshole rule. Life is too short to have these sorts of people in your business. So make sure that if you've got horrible people, and you get a copy of this book and read it if you want to, but it's basically that. Make sure that you are not having to deal with this, but introduce them to your competition, do whatever you want to. Don't be desperate enough to work with these sorts of people. Make sure you've got very clear about who you don't want to have as a client, because otherwise you'll end up just driving yourself crazy and working in a job for a living rather than doing something you really love doing. So we also don't want to help these people. Now, these people, of course, are cartoon characters, so they're not really real anyway. What I mean by this slide is don't be everything to everyone. Please don't try to be everything to everyone, because it's exhausting, absolutely exhausting, and you don't want to be there. A generalist helps everyone. A specialist helps particular people, and that's what you want to be. Because if you try to do that, if you try to help every Mary in the dairy, you will end up doing what I call waft-dam marketing. Waste of flipping time and money. And you don't want to be doing that. Who here on the call today has plenty of money to waste, to throw at marketing that's not going to get you any results, doesn't get you anything? No one. So don't do it. Your time is precious. As a service provider, you're exchanging your time for money, and you want to make sure that you're not doing this. Waste of time and money, or flipping time and money, is not good for business. So don't do that. Avoid that, because the entrepreneurial brain is really interesting. We are going to talk a little bit more about your brain today, but you do constantly have this bright shiny objectitis that we're going to talk about in a minute, that tries to encourage you to do different things and help different people and reach out and go, oh, what about these people, and so on. And if you do that, you will not be a specialist. You'll become a generalist. You'll only charge what every generalist charges. You'll be competing on price with all the other people who do the same sorts of things rather than being a go-to specialist. And when you're a specialist, you can charge what you like because you're a specialist. So that's what we're all doing this for. Now, I'm going to give you a quick case study to explain to you why you need to choose your target audience, and you need to choose them well. You need to pick someone you love dealing with, someone who you effortlessly can help, that you know will love what you do. They'll become your raving fans, and you need to choose someone that you know will absolutely love your depth of knowledge. Now, here's an example. This is a lovely woman who came to one of my personal branding workshops, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later on today. And she is a travel concierge. So she actually goes with people, groups of people, and she takes them to amazing, extraordinary places around the world where you wouldn't normally go on your own, places like Turkey and so on. And she just helps you really get in touch with the culture. She takes you to places off the beaten track that she knows exist. She takes you there and it's safe and all this. So she came to me though, and she said to me, I've had a really good idea. She said, I think I want to do travel for the gay market because they've got lots of money and they love travel. And I said, well, that's a really good idea. I know lots of gay people, and you're quite right. They do tend to be more dinkies, double income, no kids. They do both tend to be working. They earn good money. They've got a bit more discretionary spend maybe than families with 14 children. And they do love quality and travel and so on. There's a lot of people who are gay who love to go and meet amazing people around the world. What a great idea. I said, so do you know lots of gay people? And she said, no, not really. I went, oh, okay. So maybe you've got some experience in this. Have you done particular travel destinations for gay people to go and travel with other gay people or meet amazing people or go to incredible places that they really love? Have you done that before? No, never done it, don't know anything about it. Okay, so have you got a passion for this? Is there like a real need out there, people that are not being serviced particularly well in this industry, that you're thinking, hey, I could do that better than they're doing? And she went, well, I really haven't looked at the market yet. I've got no idea about this market. I just thought it was a good idea. So God bless her, great entrepreneurial brain, but how on earth was I going to help her to become the specialist go-to expert in this industry when she had no knowledge, no passion, no desire to be even there? So that's really vital that you understand what is it you really want to be doing with your time. And this is what it's got to be all about. It's got to be all about being really proud of what you do. sitting there at the end of the day and going, yes, I love doing this. I love doing what I'm doing. It's extraordinary. I love this so much. I feel in my natural environment. This is what I should be doing. This is the people I should be talking to. And yes, absolutely, I'm on the right track. So this is what you need to think about, is who are the people that you absolutely love dealing with. And target those customers. Target specifically those people that you know will be the people you want to work with. And here's some tips on how to do that. Again, I go through this in depth with people at the training that I run, but I'm going to give you the outline of it today. So the first thing you need to think about is the demographic, the age, the income, where they live, what they do for a living, all those sorts of things. So the demographic's really important. You need to know that to fit into the shoes of your prospect. You'll also need to know their psychographic, the ideal prospects, the way that they think about your services, their beliefs around what it is that you do, the era that they grew up in, what were they brought up to believe and think and feel about real estate agents, insurance brokers, chiropractors, whatever. What are their core beliefs, their attitudes, the life stage that they're going through and the lifestyle that they have, and the way that their attitudes are changing towards what it is that you do or towards life in general and what they need right now. And lastly, their personal communication style. And I do have a way of you finding out yours. I'm going to be allowing, there's something really fantastic that's coming up very shortly. You can actually do a quiz to find that out. But it is something I go through with people, is what's your personal communication style? There's only 4 of them, so that you're attracting people into your business that you naturally get on with. What would that be fantastic, to just have clients that you naturally love dealing with? And that's how to really target, to find that sweet spot. That's where the star is. It's in the middle of this, the right demographic, the right beliefs, the right psychographic, and the right communication style. And they're your key target audience. And that's how you can then start to build a cascade of influence. It really is about getting yourself known as the go-to specialist by having other people talk about you. It's called word of mouth marketing on steroids, and it's how to reach the people who want your services right now. Because right now, at this very moment, there are thousands of people out there who want what you do. They just don't know that you exist yet. So they're asking someone for advice on who they should talk to, and you want it to be you. So the way to do it is to build this cascade of influence, to find out who the key opinion leaders are, who the early adopters are. Now, the early adopters are your ideal prospect, your target audience. So fit yourself into those shoes. Figure out their demographic, their psychographic, and their personal communication style. Draw a picture of who they are. I suggest you physically do that and put it on the wall. It's what I do with people in my training, is we draw that up. Work out who their key opinion leaders are and make sure they know you exist. And then they will tell the early adopters, yep, if you want to buy a waterfront home, you need to go and talk to this particular real estate agent because Jenny, she's fantastic, she does bloody blah. Or, hey, look, I know there's lots of chiropractors out there who say this, but this guy, he focuses on this specifically and he talks about blah, blah, blah. He would be really good for you, go and see them. So that's what you want, is key opinion leaders telling the early adopters who to go to. They'll tell the early majority, which is where your big money is made, and you don't even need to know about your late majority because they'll never use your services anyway. We're going to move on. You're getting some really cool tips out of this. As I say, we are only touching about, I don't know, 2-3% of what it is you learn from me in terms of personal branding, but hopefully it's enough to get you started. Third question that people ask me, what is my niche? And it comes out of the Trust Me book, which is the third in the series, in the Selling You series. The third thing that the human prospect's brain is thinking, after they've figured out what it is you do and how you help them, the fact that they like the idea of working with you, the next thing they're asking themselves, okay, can I trust you're going to deliver on what you promise? And this is vitally important, and it's how being a specialist can make sure this happens. So it is the difference between being a generalist and a specialist. A generalist is like the GP. He sees anyone with any problems, he charges a little bit of money, and he has to market and promote the fact that he's got a medical clinic or something else there that people can come to be treated. A specialist, however, is the person who sits there waiting for the generalist to refer people to them, which they do all the time. They don't have to advertise and market themselves. They can charge whatever they want to charge, and they can work whatever hours they want to work. You yourself will know this. You've probably been to a GP when you're sick who says to you, look, you really need to go and see a specialist. I can put you on a waiting list. It's going to cost you a couple of $1,000, but he's the best guy to go to. So, so you know what I mean by this. This is where you want to be, to stop being the generalist and start being the specialist. Here's an example of, I got this amazing business card. I haven't made this up. I swear to God, I haven't made this up. This is an actual business card that came through my letterbox. Absolutely extraordinary. This guy, I'm sorry, I'm just laughing to myself here at how ridiculous this is. Have you had a chance to read this business card? Just look at all the things that he is doing. I mean, just keep reading down. I just crack up when I get down to the lawn mowing, rubbish removal, Elvis tribute, rock and roll band, jumping castles, unbelievable. And look, he works 24 hours, 7 days a week, all holidays. Is he earning a lot of money? Is he a specialist? No. Now listen, if he just picked two, if he just mowed lawns dressed as Elvis, hell, I would pay to see someone do that. What a cool thing he could do. But no, he's being a generalist. So don't do this. Don't be tempted to be everything to everyone. It's really vitally important because you have an entrepreneurial brain. Everyone on the webinar today, I'm assuming, runs their own business or works in a business where they're their own boss. So you have an entrepreneurial brain. You've basically told your brain when you decided to go out on your own and open your own business, be an entrepreneur, that yes, the amygdala was going off and saying it's going to be hard, you need to get clients, you don't know what you're doing, how are you going to earn money, all those sorts of things. You basically told your own brain to be quiet, it's okay, I understand the risks, but I'm going to do it anyway. You overcame the power of your own brain. You have a superhuman ability as an entrepreneur to take control of your own fear center in your brain, which is extraordinary. And I love entrepreneurs. I love entrepreneurial brains for this very fact that they have the superhuman power. But as I said before, the trouble with having that power is that you have kryptonite, and it's called bright, shiny objectitis. And it's about, oh, what about these people over there? We can change the way we do this, and we could do on the weekend I had this great idea. And blah, blah, blah. Now, ideas are fantastic. Don't kill your ideas. Write them down, keep hold of them, keep them in a journal, put them on a goal board, whatever you want to do with them, keep them, but don't let your ideas, your entrepreneurial brain, direct where you go as a specialist. You want to choose your direction to become the go-to specialist for a particular thing and stick with that so that you get hundreds of thousands of people wanting to work with you because you're the go-to specialist. And if you have bright, shiny objectitis, you're going to eventually end up with something called FOMO, the fear of missing out. And the fear of missing out will kill your business. It will kill your business. The reason being is that if you're scared that if you don't do something, like if I don't build websites and do SEO and do social media, or if I don't do physiotherapy and acupuncture and whatever else, that I'm going to miss out on somebody. Or if I don't do business coaching for corporates as well as small businesses, I'm going to miss out. And I know it's hard. I know when you start up in business, there's a desperation factor. You need to put food on the table to keep the roof over your head. I understand that. I've been there myself. I've been in business for myself for many years. However, when you're building a reputation and you want to become the go-to specialist, it's absolutely vital that you take control of your bright, shiny objectitis and stick with the game plan and don't worry about the FOMO. The number of times that I have shut the door on something and said, oh, I could do it, but I really shouldn't do it. And then another door opens and it's massive and it's exactly what it is I should be doing. It's just phenomenal. The minute that you focus on what you should be doing and you get rid of that FOMO, your business just absolutely takes off and flies and doors open to you that you would never have had time to look at before when you were doing this other stuff you shouldn't be doing. So it's really vitally important. It's all about becoming inch wide, mile deep. Find your inch wide niche and then go as deep as possible in it and find out how many different ways you can provide that service to those people and make an income in so many different ways that you get paid for your expertise every single time. Vital, vital, important stuff. It's about finding your expertise. Now, expertise is doing something with ease that others find difficult. That's why it's called expertise. And what is your expertise? What's the thing that you do with ease that other people would find really difficult? I have no idea how to sell a waterfront $1 million home. I have no idea how to fix someone's back after a sporting injury through acupuncture or massage or whatever else. I have no idea how to coach a business to organize their taxes better or to fix up their books. I've got no idea how you do that, but you possibly do. And you know not just that field, but you know specific things about it that make it easy for you that other people have no idea how to do. So what is your expertise? What's the thing you do with ease that other people find difficult? Because you need to make sure this happens. Now, here's an example. This was in the paper locally earlier on this year, where the CEO of Kmart. Now, Kmart is a large brand. Yes, they're a huge global brand. And the Guy Russo, the CEO, said, look, we were really slipping, financial sales were down, we're all over the place, but we lifted it because we realized we were trying to be everything to everyone. And we decided to just focus on doing a couple of things really well. They got rid of 70,000 products off their shelves, 70,000 things they stopped selling so that they could focus on what they did best. Now, if Kmart's doing it, you should be doing it. If the big brands are doing it, you should be doing it. If you want to be the go-to specialist, you need to figure out what's the stuff I shouldn't be doing and get rid of it. Outsource it. Don't do it. Don't be tempted to do it just because it's there because you've got FOMO. Say to somebody, look, I'd really love to help you, but that's not my specialist area. I can introduce you to a specialist. I know who can do that for you. I do this. I do this and I do it really well. And if you want that, I'm here for you. So make sure you do that. It makes you sought after. And it is about finding single-minded purpose. And this is what I do with people in the workshops that I run. They're online and they're live as well. And also at the advanced training is really finding your single-minded purpose. What's the thing you want to be known for and making sure you get that right. Now, I'm hoping you've had some fun today. I would love to know your feedback in the chat box. You're more than welcome to put into there what fun you've had. I love this photo. I love teachers. Teachers are amazing. I like teaching people a little bit. And I love this part about the teachers that I really respect and love. Like that teacher who told me I would never be able to read and write properly. He really challenged me. And I love him for it because I've gone to extraordinary lengths since then with his encouragement and his help. Teachers know that if you can have fun while you're learning something, you're going to retain it way better than if you just sit there and do something. So there's another lesson for you. The human brain ties memory and emotion together. That amygdala, that's its sole job, is to tie memory and emotion. So that if you're going to be scared about something or happy about something, whatever, it can recall that really quickly. So if you want someone to remember you and remember your brand and want to work with you, make sure that there's an emotion attached to whatever you're teaching, be that fun or fear or desire or laughter or whatever. Make sure you do that. So I hope you've had fun today. I've certainly enjoyed myself being on the call today. I've loved chatting with everybody here, and it's lovely to see you all here today. But what I want to do now is give you what you need. I often get to the end of the webinars here and people say, look, that's fantastic. I've learned a lot of stuff, and I'd love to know what you've learned. You can put in the chat box what the big outtake was for you, or takeout, whatever was for you today. Please let us know what that was. But I'd like to give you what you need right now. I'm doing personal training, which includes, of course, these webinars, but it does include, as I've mentioned before, workshops, one-to-one coaching and advanced training. It's with the Ultimate Business Propeller, where we really do make personal branding easy. I don't do difficult. I do simple, straightforward, easy, actionable stuff that you can implement straight away to become that go-to specialist. So I do run online workshops, and that includes finding your single-minded purpose. And we have a workbook that you download. And we go through the hidden messages and brands so that you can understand what your brand is saying about you, including how the brain sees brands and logos and colors and all those sorts of things. We find your single-minded purpose, give you that direction. We help you with some ideas on your online reputation, and also I share with you the top 12 steps, the 12 simple steps to becoming a best-selling author, which is what I do. And I've done it 5 times over, and I can't wait to share that with you because that just really rocket launches your authority. The online workshops and the live workshops are valued at $97, and I want to give you that for free. So that's really exciting. I would love to give you one of those. Keep watching to find out a bit more about this. But here's an example. Christine, who's a real estate agent, said she learned more in the first hour with me than she did in years of real estate training. And she basically said, look, if you have any other person who is in real estate, just tell them, go and do this workshop because they will just fly. They will learn so much about how they should position themselves in a highly competitive market. She was extraordinarily helpful with that. And website people, I get a lot of people who do web direction or web development and internet and SEO and all sorts of things. And the trouble is, it really is a highly competitive market. It's a race to the bottom in terms of price. And it's one of those markets where no one really knows what's being sold. It's all a bit up in the air in the cloud. Keith came along and said, look, I've been trying to get some clarity around how to position my brand. And he'd been trying for months and months and months to figure out what made him different. And within a few hours, he achieved that. Just a couple of hours, he was just blown away with how quickly he got to know what his single-minded purpose was. Got way more accomplished than he ever expected to. So that's very cool. Now, I also do one-on-one mentoring with people. It's called Brand Working One-to-One, where you get to grab exclusive time with me to work on your personal brand. It's valued at $297, and I want to give you that for free as well. So I'm very generous today. I can't wait to give you these extraordinary things to help you rocket launch your business, to really get going. I love results. That's what I'm all about, is seeing my clients having amazing results and becoming extraordinary experts that just have people coming at them from all directions and wanting their help. Here's the lovely Michelle, who's a life coach. She had Brand Working One-to-One with me, and she followed my advice, and within 24 hours, she was getting results. 24 hours, she made these few changes to what she was doing, and all of a sudden she had people booking to go to her retreats and wanting to talk to her. She just said it was absolutely priceless what I learned from you. Thank you so much. So that's very cool. And yeah, tradies as well, plumbing, electricians, whatever. You are selling the invisible. You're selling an outcome. So on the call today, if you've got any tradies or tradespeople on the phone, on the webinar today, the biggest thing that Gary got out of this, and he's had a business for many years in the plumbing industry. He said, look, branding is so much more than marketing. He thought he had that covered. And when we went into those areas around branding, he went, oh my goodness, I'd never even considered how I could position our services as being the go-to experts. And now I do, which is very, very cool. So Gary found that incredibly helpful. So I'd offer you the online workshop and a Brand Working One-to-One with me, total value of $394, completely free, with some extra bonus guidebooks and things like that when you book the 2-day advanced training with me, because you can only come on a 2-day advanced training, and we've got them in Auckland as well as the Gold Coast and online, if you have completed that first step, the workshop and a one-to-one with me. I only ever have people at the 2-day because we move very, very quickly if you have already done the workshop and the one-to-one with me, which is why I'm giving them to you for free. So here's the information for you if you're in New Zealand. I'm going to be there in August, the 14th and 15th, which is a Friday, Saturday, so it doesn't eat up your whole weekend. In Parnell, and it's 2 full-on days where we do your elevator pitch, we do that call message with you, we nail who your target audience is, we work out your brand personality, we basically package your brand in 2 days. If you're here in Australia, we're doing it in October, and again it's a Friday, Saturday, it's in Hope Island on the north end of the Gold Coast. If you want to come and fly to the Gold Coast and spend some time with us here, you're more than welcome to do that. 16th and 17th of October, very limited spaces at these trainings, maximum of 10 people. Because I want to give you some real one-to-one focused help with you while you're there. It's really important that I get that time with you. Or if you're somewhere else in the world, I am packaging the 2-day advanced training into an online training. That's coming very soon. That'll be live in September. Again, it will be limited because, yes, we do some videos and tutorials, and you get guidebooks and things that you download and extra things that you don't get at the live one to help you through this. But we also get some one-to-one time together, and we do some group webinars as well. So you get lots of time with me. So if you're looking at the webinar and calling in from somewhere else in the world outside of Australia and New Zealand, maybe you're in the States or in Europe or Asia or somewhere else, and you really want to get hold of this because you know you need to rocket launch your business and you want to be known as a standout specialist, then you can register with us as well. It is really the fastest way to package your brand. We go through your personal communications style to find exactly which one you are and exactly what sort of people you want to attract into your business that you're going to love dealing with. We draw up your target avatar. We actually draw it up so that you have a picture of a person who's your ideal prospect that you put on your wall, and you look at it every time you do anything to do with marketing your business and yourself, and you say, I'm talking to you. I want to connect with you. Am I doing this right? We find your brand personality. That's what's going to keep you consistent, so that people instantly recognize you for what it is that you do best. We're going to work on your core message so that it rolls off your tongue, so that you can use those words on all of your branding and your marketing so that people instantly know why they should do work with you, and who it is you help and what it is that you do. We build you a cascade of influence. We focus on who the key opinion leaders are and how you're going to get out to them, and we go through some ideal tactic examples that we can use to get you and your business in front of those key opinion leaders. We also go through your 30 minutes of fame. If you're interested in getting up and speaking, which a lot of specialists get asked to do that, if you're a specialist accountant or a specialist chiropractor, you might get asked to go to networking events or schools or whatever else to talk in front of your ideal audience, and we teach you how to make sure that in those 30 minutes that you've got, you nail it. You get through the brain, and there's a lot of neuro branding that goes on when you're speaking, and get your message across and get people wanting to work with you at the end of it. We also, in the live workshops, we do professional headshots and professional videos so that you've got those for your website, for your Facebook page, so that you look the part. You need to bring a couple of different changes of clothes if you're coming to a live event. For the online people, we don't do the headshots and videos. We give you some guidance on getting those, but we do a couple of extra things for you to make sure that you know how to get those done properly that you don't get in the live training. Now, the total value of the training, the advanced training I do, is $5,122. So it's a lot of value in this, and you get copies of the books, workbooks, you get everything you need to go through this with us. There are the dates: Auckland 14th and 15th, Gold Coast 16th and 17th October, and I'm launching online in September if you want to do it online with me. We do the one-to-one interactive training together. You get a copy of my best-selling guidebook. You get a set of the personal branding workbooks that we go through, and I've got clients who absolutely swear by those books. They still refer back to them months and months after we've done the training just to keep them on track, which is phenomenal. Live, we do the headshots and professional video. You get extra bonus guidebooks online that you don't get in the live ones. You also get that brand working one-to-one with me, valued at $297. We get to do that, and you don't pay anything for that. Or you can come to the online workshop as well. That's worth $97, and you get that for free too, so that you are prepped and ready to go. You know your single-minded purpose before you even start the advanced training, and you get some bonus workbooks and tools that I'm going to share with you as well. They're little secrets, but they're little extra things I'd like to give to people to really help you put this into practice, because we all know you're busy. Entrepreneurial business owners just don't have the time for this. So we give you the tools to help you get that done, and to make sure that you can carve up your day to find a space to work on your business as well as in your business, to keep you going forwards, to get that momentum you need. So as I said, the total value is just over $5,000. You can get all of this for just $19.75, which is extraordinary. It's an amazing package that I've put together for people. There's only 10 seats at each of the workshops. There is a payment plan. There's 3 payments of $795 if that makes it a bit easier for you. But you are going to have to get in and at least register for this. Register your interest, because we do have very limited seats, and we have people already taking seats. So less than $2,000 to get all of that, plus the brand working one-to-one with me, plus the workshop and all those extra workbooks, and you can choose which of those dates you want to come. Here's some examples of what has happened with people who've been to those 2-day trainings. This is Margarita. She's an abundance coach. She said, look, this just took my business to the next level. It absolutely defined who she was, what her brand was, who her target audience was. She's 100% more confident now in what she wants to be known as, and she's doing amazing things. She's having, since she finished the 2-day training with me, she's picking up quality prospect clients every single week, and they're coming to her because they've heard about how fantastic she is, and she's really engaging with people. So that's extraordinary. She's getting amazing results now that she's completely confident. The lovely AJ. Now, I've got such respect for this incredible business owner. He wanted to change his brand. They changed from one brand to another. The trouble was his brand had been around for 40 years, so he was scared to leave it. And this is fantastic. AJ, I'm so proud of him. He decided to go with it and change his brand. And since he's done that, and he did the 2-day training with me as well, and we got his core message right, and he said, oh my goodness, I'm so much more confident in myself, in what it is that I do, and what our business does, and who we help, and why we help them. And he now has a fabulous culture with his staff. I had a meeting with AJ just the other week, and it's really funny. He's now telling me who his target audience is. After me trying to tell him for a long time who I thought his target audience was, he's now telling me. He's now saying, no, that won't work because I need these people. I want to talk to these people. This is the people I want to really, and this is what happens. I'm not interested in these people. I want these. So that is so cool that he is really confident with who he wants to be known as, what he wants to be known as, and who his brand is, and what it stands for in the marketplace. Very, very cool. Lovely Kerry, who is the book balancer. She already has her brand, but she said, man, this really helped me hone in on my target audience. Kerry is a really amazing, generous person, and she would help anybody. And in fact, that's the problem that she had with the business, is she was helping everyone. And she really needed to hone in on just the people who needed her help. Yes, they needed her help, but they're prepared to take action and go through the steps that she needed to put them through as a book balancer, as an accountant, so that she could balance their books so they could get on with their life. And it really is about balancing life. And so she was extraordinarily pleased with the fact that she got the right personal communication style to know how to attract the right people that she loves working with. So very cool. And then with the Anthony, he's a videographer, and said, look, I would never have been able to get this far on my own. It would have taken me months and months and months, and I got it so quickly. I know who my target audience is. I've now been able to create a brand. I can't put money on this. He said to me, I have got so much out of this. It's just extraordinary, and I am so clear on who I want to target and how I'm going to do that. And already he's kicking some serious butt, which is very, very cool. So at the moment, all I want you to do is just to register your interest. Are you interested in the one-to-ones, the workshops, and that advanced training that's available to you to package your brand? Because if you are, all I want you to do is to go and click on, and I'm going to put a pop-in in now, just display this one. Should be coming up on your screen. The special advanced training valued over $5,000. All I want you to do is just register your interest. Tell me, are you interested or not? Would you like to know more? Is there something else that you would like to know? Do you have questions? Maybe it's a question, would this work for your business? Maybe it's a question, look, I'm not quite sure if I'm ready for this yet, or man, I'm ready for this, but I can't wait till August. When can I do it now? When's your one coming online? I'm somewhere else. I need to get into that. Whatever it is, you just need to register your interest so that we can send you that information and give you the answers to what you need. Now, if you can't see the pop-up on the screen, I'm just putting into the chat box the link, and I've got a couple of people clicking on that already. A couple of emails coming through straight away. Well done, that's fantastic. Yes, I'd like to know. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I've got people saying, look, they're in a very competitive marketplace. They need to know a few more things, but they'd love to come because they need to stand out from the crowd. That's fantastic. So please click on that pop-in that's just come up on your screen. Hopefully you can see it. If you can't, please let us know. And just register your interest. Just let us know if you're interested so that we can send you some more information about what we're doing and how it can help your business, so that we can make sure that you can package your brand really, really quickly and get those same results that other people have had. So thank you so much for being on the webinar today. It's been an absolute pleasure to be with you. Thank you everyone for hanging in there through a couple of technical difficulties I saw coming up there with delays. Hopefully the internet's working fast for you now, so thank you so much. Make sure you do that. Go to that website, click on the advanced training register. Just let us know if you're interested. What else do you need to know? There's a couple more coming in. That's fantastic. Yeah, lovely, great stuff. Can't wait. You've answered all my questions. I just need to book in. Wonderful, that's fantastic. Well, yes, we'll see you at the 2-day. Brilliant, great stuff. So as a thank you for today, I am going to be sending you a complimentary guidebook. It's called The 5 Steps to Have a Brand That Soars. It really is an overview to branding that's going to help you. So I do advise you check your inbox. I'll be sending you that link as well, again, to get hold of that registration page, just to register your interest. Doesn't cost you anything. You can tick the box. We won't spam you or anything like that. We're just going to find out what your questions are to see whether that 2-day advanced training is for you or not. And this is the only way that you can get hold of those free extras, the free online workshop and the free one-to-one. You can only get that if you register. So make sure you do that, and check your inbox for your complimentary guidebook, and we'll be talking again to you soon. So thank you very much. If you have any other questions, please pop them into the chat box. If you're watching live, if you're watching a replay, you can type in a question there and send that to us. We're more than happy to answer your questions. I hope we've been helpful to you today. I hope you've learned some amazing things about how you can package your brand and become well-known, well-paid and wanted as the go-to specialist in your field. Thank you so much for being on the webinar today. I will leave the chat box open a little bit longer in case you've got some questions. I'm getting some more thank yous through in the emails as well. That's fantastic. Wonderful. Great to see. Oh, neat. A couple more coming in saying, yes, I'll be there with bells on. Fabulous. Can't wait to see that. So, so thank you so much, everybody. And we will see you at the next brand working webinar, and we've got a couple of great ones coming up for you. So thank you again, and we'll see you soon.